Hi there, this is Tim Gowens once again with Krause Family Ford. It's a pleasure to have with us today Miss Pammy. Pammy, say hello to the
Hello,
folks. Tell us what your first and last name is, Pammy.
Pamela Samlal.
I know I couldn't say the last name.
Samlal, it's very simple.
Yes, okay, got it. So where are you from, Miss Pammy?
I'm originally from Trinidad.
Trinidad.
So, yes,
Cool.
I was born there, and I lived there until I was about 22.
22 years old.
And then I
Okay.
left and I moved to the United States.
Yeah, okay. That's wonderful. Do you miss it?
The warm weather, yes.
The warm weather, I bet you
And
do.
my
It's
family there,
it's
yes.
Nice and cold here today, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Too cold.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today. It's
My
a pleasure to have you with us. Pammy, how long have you been with the dealership? How long have you been in the dealership world?
The dealership world for about 40 years.
40 years.
Yes,
Wow.
so I started off in Miami at Miami Lincoln Mercury Parts Warehouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Wow.
And then I moved into sales.
Okay.
I was a sales manager secretary for a little bit.
Okay.
And then I went into accounting to do accounting. And
Okay.
that's where I've been stuck ever since.
For how many years have you been in accounting?
Oh, let's see, 25, 30 years.
25
Yeah.
to 30 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Long time.
Very long time.
Long
Pretty
time.
much. Pretty much.
Okay, Miss Pammy, I have about 15 questions I want to ask you. They're,
Okay.
they're broken up into just a couple of categories, just
Okay.
for conversational purposes. So, okay, when you first started in the dealership world over 40 years ago? Can't believe that. What did a normal day in accounting look like?
Oh, well, it depends.
Before computers, right? You were
Yeah.
doing this before
Well-
computers and before systems like CDK took over.
Yeah. So they had other systems like Reynolds. CDK has been around for 75 years, or ADP. It was known as ADP before.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in 2015 maybe they split from ADP and became their own entity.
Okay.
So, but in the life of accounting, it depends on the dealership that you're at, because some dealerships are very structured and some are not very structured. So for the most part, it's an excellent learning place to learn and to move up to
Yeah.
excel in that.
So this was
industry.
before Excel, right? I mean,
No,
40 years ago, was
yeah.
there was Excel 40 years ago?
No. You had programs that could make it look like Excel.
Oh, I see.
So right now they still have programs that if you don't buy Microsoft Excel,
Right.
there are other programs that you can use to make your document
Make it
look
look
like
like that.
Excel. Yeah.
So what did you guys use 30, 40 years ago?
So we printed everything, and we saved everything to a drive or a CD, or in those days with ADP, they had these drives or these tapes that you put in a drive, and you saved all of your
Okay,
information.
so you've got to explain to our younger listeners what a drive is, because
Yeah.
some of them I remember, and I remember what a floppy disk was, but
Yes.
some of them may not remember that. So could you explain
Yeah,
what that is?
it's so you have a mainframe
Okay.
that holds the computer software, all
Right.
of that stuff in there.
Right.
And so every month end, the controllers or the office managers would have this tape that they would put into that slot
Right.
in there, and they would save all of their books, and they would close the month and all of that stuff
On
to
a
that.
tape.
And they would have to hold on to that tape and put it in the safe, or the office manager or the controller or the dealer should be taking it home.
Wow.
Like, just in case that there's a fire at the dealership, they would have backup information.
Okay. My
Backup
goodness.
information for that, just in case they need to restore anything at all.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So, what's the single biggest change you've seen in the dealership operation from the 1990s? What would be the biggest thing?
Oh, the biggest thing is the fact that you don't always have to print everything, that you can archive things now. So before we had these printers that were called deck writers. And to be able to print financial statements and stuff, you would have to use the deck writer. So the biggest change, and you'd have to print all of your schedules and journals and all of that stuff and physically keep it. There'd be physical printed paper.
Right.
We had these green bar paper that we use. And so the biggest change was the fact that we didn't have to print anymore,
Yeah.
that we could archive it into this program called DSDA, Document Storage Data Archiving, and it would be saved there. And you can go back to it for however long the retention was on the system, that you could go back to that.
I see. Wow. So if you could go back and tell your 1995 self one thing about where the industry was headed, what would you say to yourself in
Oh my
1995?
goodness! I would say look forward to the changes that are coming because it's a lot better than it used to be.
Yeah.
Because you had to along with those printers, and then you not just the printers but your computers were these big old boxes, not these slimline things that we have right now. They were big old things with like those televisions that you had
Sure.
many years ago where the back of it is like this long. That's
Right.
how these computers were.
I see.
So
Wow.
look forward to the change.
Look forward to the
that's coming.
changes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you first get introduced to CDK, or back then you said it was ADP, or Reynolds and Reynolds? Was Reynolds and Reynolds also ADP in those days?
No,
Or okay.
Reynolds and Reynolds
It was
just are
different.
the
They're
competitor
competitors,
to
And
to
what
ADP.
made you decide to master CDK? Because I know you're a master of CDK.
So yeah, that
At least
I
the
am.
people at the Krause family Ford think that you
Yeah.
are.
So the first dealership that I worked at had ADP.
They had ADP.
They had
okay.
ADP and these little green screen thingies that computers that you use and stuff like that. And it was more user friendly and easy to use and understand. So in ADP or CDK, the functionalities that you had to use to get to what you do explained what you were doing. So for example, if I wanted to write a check, my function is CHK.
Okay.
And if I wanted to write a journal, it would be my journal entry.
Right.
Right, so it explained what I had to do.
I see.
So since I may have worked at maybe 2 dealerships that had Reynolds and Reynolds
Okay.
in all my years,
Okay.
everything else was CDK or ADP.
Okay.
So when I it's so easy. For me, it's very easy to use. It's user friendly for me because I understand it.
Right.
And if you don't, for the people that don't understand it, once they get to understand it,
It's not that bad.
it's not that bad at all. And when I was, because I did a lot of traveling and training using the program, so I would go to say a Reynolds client, and they were going to move from Reynolds and Reynolds into ADP or CDK. They would fuss. They
Yeah.
would fuss. I said, listen, I will give you 2 years, and I will come back and I will see you, and you will tell me how you're doing.
Okay.
And I've done that, and they
Yeah.
go, it's smooth selling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for the biggest
I guess
dealership-
it's like anything. You just have to get used to
Right,
what it is
right.
and how it works. Right. You
Yeah,
just have to
and
get used to it.
on the Reynolds side, their functionalities were numbers.
Right.
So instead of something explaining to me what my function is,
Right.
I had to type in 0060 say to write a check.
Right. Right. Okay.
So
So, what would be the most complicated or impossible problem that you've ever encountered and solved in CDK that would maybe even leave some of the factory reps stunned? Have you ever run across something
but
like
the factory reps at any manufacturer or even at CDK, so those people don't know the program. So every day I work with. So when I was when I started in the industry, I worked in accounting only. So I knew everything accounting and everything payroll. Then I started working with ADP. I trained on doing all of that stuff. I trained on the technical side. So how to troubleshoot a problem.
Right.
How to fix an accounting out of balance, say, so for whatever reason the system went out of balance. So those things came easily to me. I learned parts, service, and finance, and no big deal to that because at the end of the day, everything from the other departments came into accounting. So I can't say of one single thing that, would shine out other things at
yeah.
all because every day the issues are different.
I got you.
Every day the issues are different.
Every
so,
different. Yeah. Every day is
yes,
different.
and so, I can tell factory reps, I said, listen, you can tell the client that we can do this or we can't do that, but I
Right.
can tell you what we really, truly
got you.
can
Yeah,
do,
yeah. Okay. Do you have a favorite trick or something in CDK that a lot of dealers still don't know that you can do? Do you have like a favorite trick that you like to tell people about in CDK?
Not really. I'm just good at figuring things out from accounting to finance to parts and service because, they all come together. As I tell a lot of people, and I would tell this to all of my clients also, that accounting is the wheel that runs the business.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Everybody, all the spokes and all of that stuff in that wheel belong to the other department.
Right.
But accounting runs it. If accounting doesn't say yay or nay, then it doesn't happen.
Right. That's true.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true. That's
So
very true. It's very true that if the folks in accounting
yes.
don't put their thumbprint on it, it probably won't get done, correct? Yeah.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, everything comes to accounting. We either make it or we break it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And our job is not to break it, but our accounting is to make it.
Make it,
you know,
right.
and make it so that everybody understands it.
Yeah. What's the funniest mistake that you've ever seen someone make in the DMS that almost cost the dealership a bunch of money, or maybe did cost the dealership a bunch of money? Do you have some funny mistakes like that?
Oh my gosh, it you know, it's hard to say at the dealership. So unless they go into the system and it cause an accounting out of balance, which means, and a bad accounting out of balance would be accounts payable or accounts receivable, because those are the two most complicated programs on the system.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, because accounts payable can do some stuff. They can do some stuff, and you can be down. If accounting is out of balance, you can be down for a couple of days.
Yeah.
You know, for me in support, when I was supporting the program, if I somehow deleted the name file,
Oh.
yeah, that won't be good. That won't be a good thing. I thank the Lord, I've never done that.
Yeah,
I've never done that, because one of the things that our trainers would tell us, before you make any changes to anything, back up your file.
Right.
Back up your file so that you would know. But for the most part, an employee at a dealership cannot cost the dealer any money outside of they lost the entire deal.
Yeah.
And can find a contract, but everything on the system is reprintable.
Okay.
You know, reprintable, customer can resign, but it's not something that you can say that's going to cost the dealership,
I see.
you know, a bunch of money, unless they take a customer's car and they go crash it. And
Well, that would obviously not be a good
yes,
deal, right?
yes.
That'd
But
be a good
from
thing.
a user standpoint, there is nothing they can do that would cost the dealership money outside of shutting the system down, and they don't have
see.
that type of access to
I
do
see.
that.
They don't have that kind of access.
No. Only,
So-
you know, the IT department or the system admin.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell us about maybe the craziest month end close that you've ever had. Maybe it has something to do with weather disasters, or system crashes, or
yes.
whatever made it legendary. What would you say?
So, in this United States, we have very warm states and we have very cold states. And for the most part, the issues happen in the very cold states, where it's so cold that the area where the boxes are, they would have a freeze or something like that, and that may cause the entire thing to shut down. Now, we've had that has happened.
Wow.
That has happened where somebody hacked into it, or the snowfall was so bad, that it froze things up, and but we have had where the support center, where they hold all of the information that belongs to the dealers in there. If that shuts down, that'll be
Has that happened?
that has happened. And it does take a while to bring it back up.
Yeah.
But they have backup, and then they have the backup on the backup and
right.
stuff like that. So they have ways to get that information.
I see.
You know, unlike if they get hacked.
Yeah, right.
And we know that happened.
That has happened, right?
Yes, that has happened, yes.
You've been
That
hacked
has
before.
happened.
What was the result of that?
So from what I understand, somebody in Russia, somewhere around that, hacked into the system and made their demands, and CDK didn't have any choice but to pay them. You know, to get it, because and I have to tell you that in all these years with working with these companies,
Right.
that has never happened.
Yeah. Wow. Just that one time.
Just that one time. It has never happened.
And that was quite legendary as well, right? I mean,
Yes,
I
was.
remember that. I mean,
Yes,
it being
everybody
just
was down for
associated.
like 2 weeks, about 2 weeks at a time,
Right.
2 weeks, because you can't. They were holding the stuff for ransom,
Sure.
basically, and that's what I understand. So they can't.
So
do
what are
anything.
some things that CDK has done now to prevent that from happening
Well,
again?
so when I used to work when it was ADP, it was at least once a quarter, we got a slew of things that we had to review and make sure we understand it, sign off on it.
Right.
And one of them was this, cybersecurity and all of that kind of
Right.
stuff. Be careful how you open an email, phishing and all that type
Sure.
of stuff. And so, people don't understand the importance of that. When you think you're getting an email from you, say, but you know that that's not, you didn't send that email, and you open it, well, that can cause a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's they have to be very, very careful.
So what has CDK done to prevent that? Do they have any things that they've put in place?
They have rewritten the security.
Yeah.
You know, I believe that they have written their security of how they do things, because before, when this happened, they used to have this thing called, I believe, because that's what I read actually. They have this place called Service Connect within CDK, where you can go in there and you can open a case. You didn't have to talk to a person. You can open a case on your issue, and then somebody would return your message or call you back to find out what your issue was. And so that is no longer there. So it from what I recall, they enter through that way.
Through that way, I see.
You know.
I got you.
Yeah.
Have you ever had the opportunity to catch someone trying to accomplish fraud or embezzlement
No.
using the CDK system? Have you
No, but you know, individual dealers have had people in their company who's done that. You know, utilizing the program, but no. That was one of those things also that we had to sign up.
But you had to figure that out, right? You had to look through that, make sure that wasn't
because
occurring.
the controllers would say, and the way they would tell you that these people did these stuff. So, you know, to prevent it, it's preventing a person who is writing the check from being able to sign the check.
Right. Yes.
You know, the person who's writing the check should not sign the check. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm writing a check to myself and I'm signing it myself, and I only require one signature, then
no one's going to know that you.
Exactly.
I got it, right.
Exactly.
Over 40 years, I guess it's been 40 years, right?
About 40 years.
About 40 years. What's the hardest lesson the dealership learned, meaning the hard way, about accounting or the DMS system? What's the hard lessons that some dealers have had to learn?
Well, they've had to learn how different it is from what they used to have before, and because the users that have been on the program since their startup, they don't have any misunderstanding about how the program works, right? The program is it explains everything that it does. You know, and if you want to find out if somebody is doing something wrong, then you have to just be checking the access of that person.
I see.
Because in most places, in most structured industry or dealers, they have strict access.
Strict access.
So me personally, to give user access, I'm very picky.
Yeah, right.
I will cut off things that if I think that you don't need to have it because of what it is, then you're not going to have it. You know, so they learned a lesson in not granting access to people to things that they don't need to have access to, because once you have access to it, you can do whatever you want.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I think dealers and employers want to trust those that they're working with every day, right? They want to trust them.
Yeah.
But the hard reality is that you have to look pretty hardly. You have to look very hard at the kind of person that you've brought into your.
Well, it's all in the interview, right? And it's all in the interview when you're interviewing a person, and the other part to that is the experience of that person. Right. So, if you're going to put someone in accounts payable who's had maybe 1 or 2 years experience in accounts payable, but your accounts payable is humongous, you probably want somebody who have 10 years, 5 to 10 years experience in accounts payable.
So how have manufacturers' audits and factory rules changed since you started? And which ones still drive you the craziest today?
Ford, of course.
Ford, yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But, so they've come a long way too, the manufacturers. Some of them are still old school. Ford is still some old school, from what I can tell, because I used to work at Aikens also. So, and he's everything Ford. I mean, he's just Ford to the brim. And they know him so well. He's on their board and all of that kind of stuff. But even though we're in the 21st century, they still have things that are old ways of doing it, and they really need to come up into the the 21st century with the modern technology and all of that stuff. Their their vehicles are in the modern technology, but in the programming of how they use it, like some of the programs you would have to give technicians access to and all, it's really old school.
Really old school.
Yeah, so they have to, it's best to bring it up to speed, but it's
so they're doing a better job of that.
Yes, they're doing much better. Some of the high end manufacturers, like say Land Rover, Mercedes, some of those are still, manual things.
So they're rudimentary still.
Yeah, so some of them are still. I think that for the most part, every one of them are trying to work to be modernized and to make things work better in the 21st century with regards to, doing their service and their warranty stuff and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So if a 22-year-old walked into the dealership tomorrow and wanted to learn accounting and CDK, okay, what advice would you give them that you wish someone had told you when you were 22, just getting started?
Oh my goodness. Well, if a 22-year-old is going to a dealership, the one thing I'd wanted them to do is, I like taking a lot of notes. Get yourself situated where you understand that this is brand new to you. You're going to be learning something brand new so make a lot of notes and make sure that you understand and ask a lot of questions. Because if you don't, and somebody's just repeating things to you all the time, you won't know what they're talking about, right? And having examples and all of that stuff to do that would be helpful to you.
So take lots of notes.
Yes, lots of notes. I mean, having some accounting background, like maybe go to school for accounting.
Yeah, what kind of accounting background?
So the accounting that you learn in a dealership, if you don't learn it hands-on, you won't know it, right? So having an accounting background with the understanding what debits and credits mean is going to help you in understanding how to do automotive accounting, because a lot of people, I had to deal with this once. She was the office manager in the office, but didn't know a debit from a credit and didn't know how to make bank entries. What does the bank say a credit is and what do we say a credit is in accounting? So those are two different things. The bank credits your account means that you get more, but in accounting, we take it out. When it's a credit, it takes it out of the bank. So it's understanding that.
The terminology
is important. Yes, the terminology is very important.
Terminology and understanding,
yes,
because it's different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very different. So having an accounting background is helpful.
Right.
Getting your experience from the ground up is also very helpful. So if you're want to work in an accounting office, you want to take the basic position first to understand an accounting clerk. What do I do to make this journal entry, and what do I do to do this function and that function? You have to understand.
And then you can just step your way up the ladder, right?
Absolutely, 100%. There are
How long does it take for someone with no experience to learn automotive accounting? What would you say?
I would say a couple, 3-4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That long.
Because you have to, depending on your mentality.
Right, depending on the person's capabilities, aptitude.
Depending on your capabilities would depend. If you're pretty smart and you can figure it out, it's a couple of years.
Right.
But if you don't understand it, you have to know that automotive accounting is different from any kind of accounting.
Wow.
It's the opposite of what an accountant is.
I didn't actually know that. So it's the opposite in what way?
Yeah, meaning that the same thing with the debits and the credits and how they do that, like CPAs. If you have a CPA who does your taxes and all of that kind of stuff over there and it's coming over here to do accounting, it's two different things.
I see. Okay.
Two different things. The mentality, how you process the information, how you understand the information.
I got you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some future predictions, okay? With all the new cloud systems, all the new AI tools, and the electric vehicle changes that are coming, what do you think a dealership in 2035 is going to look like? What would you say it's going to look like?
Oh my goodness, more space aged. I think with all the changes that are coming around, it's changing is inevitable, right? So I think their designs are going to be different. Their cars are going to look different. Accounting is not going to change.
Right, I got you.
Accounting is going to be accounting.
Yeah. Do you think that there will be AI robots that are doing accounting, maybe of some type of computing? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I can't picture it in my head.
I can't either.
I can't picture it in my head.
Know
but it's possible.
It is possible.
It is possible.
It's possible.
It is possible.
The AI is revolutionizing. We're on the cusp of AI revolutionizing everything that we know to be true. And I sometimes wonder what that's going to be in the dealership.
well-
I thought, well, maybe you'll come up to a dealership kiosk or a robot, and you'll place your order,
Yes.
and AI robots in the back make your
Right,
car in 2
right,
days or something, and your
right.
car's ready. You know?
I don't know about that in 2 days, but I mean, I think that from an accounting standpoint, I can see them being able to, you know, how you look in the movies and you say, do this, do that, and it pops up on
Yeah.
your screen. That's how I'm thinking that
could.
might be. It could be that way, because if you know your dealer is standing over there and it says, "Can you show me this? Can you show me my financial statement?" And boom, there it is
Yeah.
up on the screen.
Right.
You know, so but I think I can't picture that in my head.
Yeah.
I can't picture it.
It's hard to
because-
imagine, isn't it?
Yes,
It is.
you
It's
know,
hard.
you almost think about those cartoons from way back when. That was those space cartoons,
Yeah.
and all of the things that's
I
happening.
think it was George Jetson. Wasn't
Yes.
It? Yes.
Yes.
Here comes George Jetson. Right?
Yes. So I think, you know, mentally I can't picture it, but it's a possibility for the future, because you know we will have them flying cars.
Yeah. Well, Pammy, thank you for being with us
Oh,
today.
it's
You
my
have done,
pleasure.
You have done such a great job today. I
Oh,
got one more
thank you.
question for you, okay? After 30 years, what are you still proud of every time you hit the post button on a perfect month end? And does that still happen for her? Does that happen? Do you have perfect months where months just go really well?
No. Unfortunately, because unfortunately, it doesn't always go that way, because there's always something that's going to come up
Right.
that we're going to miss. And in this particular environment where we are at this place, it's getting better.
It's getting better.
It's getting better to where, you know, we're getting stuff done in a timely manner, and we're not keeping the month open, you know, 4 weeks at a time. But slowly but surely, they will get to where they will just be able to say, "Oh, we on the 5th of the month, we're done, and let's do it."
Yeah.
I'm close. Yeah.
Do you have any plans to retire, or how much longer are you going to keep doing accounting?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Maybe another year.
No,
Yeah,
come on, you
yeah.
can do more than a year, right?
I don't know. We'll see, because I now want to go retire and do some more traveling and all of that kind of stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
good. Well, once again, Pammy, thank you for being with us today. My name's Tim Gowens. This is Summer Street Productions. It's been a privilege to have you with us
My
today.
pleasure.
And if we can ever assist you with your podcast, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.